Call the May 3rd, 2023 meeting of the Decatur County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Decatur County requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April 5th meeting. Everyone should have received those in their packet. Does anyone have any additions or corrections to those?
No.
If not, I'll look for a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion, we accept them as mailed out.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. First item on our agenda, BZA petition 2023-4 Jeffrey Kreckler is requesting a conditional use in an A2 zoning classification to run a mechanic shop on the premises. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance number 935. Property is currently owned by William and Patricia Kreckler and is located at 7657 East County Road 200 South, Greensburg, in Salt Creek Township. Jeff, if you could come up here and tell us about what you've done since we last met.
Last time we met, we was discussing the fence that you guys decided didn't look as well, so we planted trees. Trees is the way to go. We went with 4 foot. I think they're called Virgin Giants, 30 green giants. They should grow anywhere from 5 to 7 feet a year as soon as they're established. So we planted 48 of them out there.
Okay. Everybody should have those pictures. The whole row was requested.
When were those planted?
I'm sorry.
Say, when were those planted?
Maybe 2 or 3 weeks after our last meeting that I was here.
So they're all doing well?
So far, yeah. We just got through winter, so far they're kind of sitting in a little bit of water, but I think we might survive. Hopefully.
This year.
So what we've got under discussion here is going to be the conditional use. To this date, we've done 6-month intervals on the conditional use. Just so that you guys are clear on that. Do you guys have any questions?
I just appreciate that you're trying to work with this. I really do appreciate that. And I think you went above and beyond on putting these in, and I think that's really good, and I appreciate you doing it.
Okay, Jeff, you can have a seat. Do we have anyone from the public with any commentary on the matter? Come on up.
My name is Bob Morton, and we are, so far, I guess, the only adjoining neighbors for the way everything's laid out and stuff. The only question I have is when you bring it up for vote and everything, what are the parameters? I don't have a list of the parameters or anything as far as operation. Hours and how many employees and so on.
I think we have the parameters here, but we don't have any answers to the.
I know
To
when we
the
first started and
hours of
everything, there were certain things that were brought up,
Right.
so many cars and things like that. And everything. I
Absolutely.
want to make sure that's all included, that I understand what they are.
Right.
Because at first, there was not very much willingness to comply with any of the stuff.
Well, we got them to where that they would do no more butchering. They trying to hide their property from yours. They complied with trying to get things cleaned up the way that we'd asked them to. Have you been out there?
I understand all that, but there was hours of operation
Right.
and how many employees and all this other stuff.
That would be
I'd
in
like
the.
I'd like to know what the parameters are that he's operating under.
We may ask him. if you, I would do.
Do you have anything else? before-
How do you report any violations or anything?
To the area plan office? Jeff, you want to come back up and kind of explain that, please? Give us an idea.
So the amount of vehicles that was discussed was 10 total, including mine. 10 sitting outside, that's when it's a good. We've complied with that, we've stated that. Hours of operation was, I want to say we said 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock and then through the week. And try not to work on the weekends, which, I don't want to work on the weekends no more than anybody else wants to work on the weekends.
I'm sorry, what were the hours of operation, 7 to 6?
Monday, Friday, Monday through Friday.
So no weekends?
No, he's gonna try to stay away from weekends.
Monday through 7
Monday,
to 6, Monday through Friday.
Now, obviously, I live there, so I mean, on the weekend,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be messing with my own stuff, but that's business wise, it won't be.
And do you have employees?
I got a friend that comes over and sweeps the floor and kind of watches what I do, trying to learn stuff, but that's it. He's not an employee. No.
Do you see going to that at some point in time?
Will hire an employee? No. No, because I don't want to have to pay the insurance for the employment tax and all that stuff. So. Nope, just trying to keep it just me.
Well, we need to, in order to kind of contain some parameters, we need a time frame. What's our normal one, Chris?
5 years.
5?
No.
Need some thoughts there.
I would think, since he's been here so much to ask for this, and has done what we've asked, that we give him 5 years, and if it doesn't comply, then yes, ma'am.
I would caution 5 years because it took you 1.5 to 2 years almost to get him to comply with what you guys requested in the first meeting. And he did not even come back the first time without you guys telling him to. He's very reluctant on doing stuff. And at the end of his driveway where he has the trees on both sides, which is great, and he's got it painted and great. But you go down our driveway, there's a 30-foot stretch that we look down all this junk that's sitting there.
But it's
That
just,
was not there, before.
What kind of?
just us.
Well, he's got all these old cars, he's got a pontoon boat, a regular boat,
6.
6 trailers. There's some junk sitting there that we see every time we go in and out of our driveway. It's a good 30 feet that we see. I just caution the 5 years because I do not trust him. I'll put it out like that. We gave him permission to drain the water off of his building. And instead of just letting rainwater run out, he let pig's blood run out onto our property. After that, we're like, no, we don't want any hard feelings or anything like that. But when you cross the line, we're like, we're done. I caution 5 years.
Ma'am,
That's-
what is your name?
Marcia.
Thank you.
So regardless, if we shorten it, which we can, you're still, any violation would need to be reported.
Okay.
So
It will be.
that's up to you.
Okay.
But
So if a violation is reported and found to be true,
then we can request that they come back and we can review the conditional use again.
based on that, I think the 5 years is acceptable, because if he violates, then it's gonna be back at us anyway.
Yeah, because if we set it for 2 years, there could still be a violation, which you would really need to report. Then, I mean, it just saves the repeat coming back. If you do have an issue, you're gonna have it within 2 years, or 5, or 1.
Well, I agree with that, but I think too that sometimes people get in trouble because what some people call junk, other people call it, there's my business.
Mhm.
So this is hard also. And like I said, I appreciate the compliance that he's done now, whether it's took him a year and a half or 2 years. It was an expensive operation. It looks like he's trying real hard to comply with what we asked for.
Step on the driveway, don't affect
So
anybody else.
it's up to you guys, what you think, 5 or 2, something different, really.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Everything we've asked, from plugging the drain to fence to trees, he's accomplished that over a period of time. Sometimes weather arrangements don't allow things to happen quicker, but he's accomplished all those tasks. He's been very willing to work with us. I think we're already setting limitations on the number of vehicles that can be there. We've set a limitation on hours that he can do business. I would probably argue that there should possibly be some weekend options open to that. I don't like limiting a man's ability to earn a living. There needs to be some limitation, but yeah, I would probably recommend 5 years.
Brad, do we need to put any limitations on not just the number of vehicles, but maybe scrap, parts sales?
Any more buildings, any more parking lot?
And I'm just concerned because issues we already have everywhere else.
Mhm.
You know,
Am I
and if,
right in thinking that these traders are holding some of your parts and things that, I mean, you have them in?
I've got a utility trailer sitting back there that I throw my scrap in, say my rotors or something. that I
So it's
place
pretty
in.
well.
Well, I don't want it on the ground, so I just put it in the trailer. I've got my car trailer, I've got a couple other utility trailers, we got a pontoon and another boat. So,
but as long as those things are operable and everything, as long as they don't become scrap hidden behind the fence.
Jeff, were there some ocean freight containers there before?
yes, and they are still there. Yeah, one of the requests was that I paint those to kind of match the building and I did that, so.
Do you use those for what purpose?
We've got so I moved my mother-in-law in with me, I don't know, it's been 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And most of her belongings are in the one. I've got window air conditioners and some other stuff in the other. So I just use it for my personal storage. So it's not cluttering up the house or the garage.
So we met, that's another thing you can request.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we could add the language of operable equipment. 10 motor vehicles, no more than 10 motor vehicles.
And everything has to be maintained the way it is now.
Yeah, with the trees, the fence that's there, everything that you've got.
Right.
Clear on
So I put on stipulations, no more than 10 vehicles on property at one time, no inoperable equipment stored on site, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Now, question, just hanging more than 10 vehicles on site at one time. I mean, what if my kids have friends over or something like that, or family comes to visit? I mean, I don't want to get hard.
that.
All right.
That's in per days.
Okay.
Related to the business.
Yeah,
Okay.
which would be obvious. 'cause
Right,
so
well, I just want to make
if they're
that
there.
clear.
10 vehicles that's in your service queue.
Is there interest in adding weekend hours of operation?
Yeah. Jeff didn't say.
If we could, it'd be, I don't want every weekend, I just, if I need to finish something up on a Saturday or morning or something, I appreciate it. No later than,
Eight
say,
to
3 or 4 o'clock on Saturday.
8 to 2, 8 to 3 on Saturday. I mean, I think those are very reasonable business
I
hours.
mean, that's pretty typical for a shop. Agreed. You get that, Kristen?
Hours of operation, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday.
questions?
Somebody got any other?
Look for a motion.
I make the motion, we can vote on application number BZA 2023-4.
Second.
I'll read the vote. Joyce Brimley? Yes. Brad Shooty? Yes. Gary Fisher? Yes. Jamie Livingston? Yes. Henry Cohen? Yes.
Okay, Jeff. Your variance passes, and it will be up to you guys to monitor and if there's an issue, let us know. Next item on the agenda, BZA petition 2023-5, Jeffrey Moore is requesting the following. A special exception is provided in Decatur County zoning ordinance number 1920 to operate a dog kennel business on the property. A variance as provided in Decatur County zoning ordinance number 1930 from the required 150-foot setback from an adjoining property line to approximately 20 foot from an adjoining property line. Property is owned by the petitioner and it's located at 9012 West County Road 1400 Southwest Fulton, Jackson Township. Mr. Moore, if you could come up and tell us about your petition.
Hello. We're actually moving to that house from Hebron, Kentucky. And we run a dog kennel business there in Hebron for about 8 years. And so when I moved to Decatur County, I called and said, hey, what stipulations do you have? And this is why we're here today. I'm more than 150 feet from all property lines except for the one on the right, which is a vacant field. And there's not another house on that side of the road for a mile. So that's why we're here asking for that variance.
Okay, your dog kennel business. You just explain that a little bit to me.
Yeah, so I think we sent some pictures in of what we currently got built in Hebron, Kentucky. So we raise labs, red labs, and we have about 12 females that we breed. And we've done that for 8 or 9 years now.
And you'd be just looking at a similar setup.
Yeah, it would be that exact same setup. I'm actually moving those pictures that she saw, moving that to that spot.
So you're not boarding dogs, you are
No.
breeding and raising?
Yeah, no, actually, we own all of those dogs. We exercise all of our dogs.
And how many do you usually have at one time?
12 adults.
No more, no less?
No.
And you're setting up the spaces for 12 dogs?
Yes. Yeah.
I can
There
see
is
them
a-
looking over the
Yes.
wall.
Yeah, there is a nursery too that
Okay.
goes with
Yes.
that. It's a little separate building that comes out on the side of that. But, yeah.
And you say you own the land next, where the 20-foot?
No, so that, I've actually talked to the property owner who actually does own that, but that's a vacant field for a
Oh,
while.
okay. And what did he tell you?
He said it was fine. Actually, I think his brother-in-law's here tonight,
Okay.
so yeah.
So no signage, will you have signage on your property?
No.
So how do you market your dogs?
We market, we've got a website named Boys Fox Red Labs. That's how most of our clientele comes to us. And then we've done it enough years that we've sort of found that.
We have a gentleman here that has bulldogs and has a beautiful kennel out there.
So you have buildings in Hebron that you're going to move
Yes, that's
with the
correct.
approval?
That's correct.
And there's no way you can meet up with 150 feet.
No, because I've only got like I can't remember exactly what the width of that is. I think it's written down there somewhere. And actually, that's a woods, it actually
Well,
drops.
that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you, if that land that's next to you.
Yes.
So you have to pour concrete pads next to the drains, right?
And you have the kennels where they can run,
Yeah, so all of the
just
kennels,
like in
it's just currently the way it's set up now, is it actually all runs into a sewage
Right.
pit and pumps, yes.
Say that again.
Yeah, so what we do is to contain it, we actually pour a wall that's above where our concrete pads are. And then that sewage will run into that, and then there's a sump called pit that runs into it and then pumps out to the sewer.
Are you on West Coast Sewer?
No, so we would be on our own septic there.
Okay.
So you're saying pumps out to the sewer, pumps into
It
the septic
actually
field?
pumps into my septic, yes.
It's a good thing, it's not just good.
Right.
Mhm.
And do you belong to Kennel Club?
Yeah, so
Okay,
we're AKC,
Yes. Okay.
all of our dogs are health
So they
tested.
come and check you.
Yeah, they could show up at any moment.
Okay.
You
No
guys
more
have any more
questions.
questions? Have any questions or thoughts from the public?
My name's Hayes. I live right behind you. Actually, built that house in 78, and then he refurbished it. He's gonna move into there. It's on my property, so I have no problem with
What was your name
that.
again?
Hayes, Kenneth,
Kenneth Hay.
He actually lives in the green, and what's in the green there.
That's quite ways from that.
Yeah. He would actually be the closest house.
Any other comments? None, I'll look for a motion.
I make the motion that we vote on BZA 2023-4.
My second.
I'll read the votes. Gary Fisher, yes. Brad Shooty, yes. Jamie Livingston, yes. Rick Cohen, yes. Joyce Brindley, yes.
Okay, your petition passes.
And was that for both? There was two?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's for both. It's the entire petition.
Yeah, okay, thank you much.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Next petition, BZA petition 2023-6. Donnie Barber is requesting a variance as provided in Decatur County zoning ordinance number 945 from the required 70-foot front setback to a 40-foot front setback to build a garage on their property. Property is owned by the petitioner and is located just north of 2621 North County Road 860 East, Greensburg, and Puget Township. Mr. Barber, if you could come up and tell us about your project.
Yes, we are building a garage. The property itself basically sits on top of a hill. The one flat spot is where we're trying to build it at, so that way we don't have to move a bunch of dirt. And because it won't work well if we have it back to the normal 70 feet.
What, is there a bit of a dip in the ground behind it?
Yeah, it probably drops. There's probably I don't know, 5 to 10 degrees slope coming off that. That drops pretty quickly, right? If it was at the 70 feet variance, like the edge of it would be overhanging probably 2 or 3 feet. So if we move it back to the 40 foot, like it's going to give us plenty of room. It's a dead end gravel road that no one, all of our neighbors are the ones that are on it.
So,
How will you enter and exit? Are you gonna hook into your driveway?
yes,
Correct.
so to be able to get into the garage, we will pull in through our driveway off the road, yes.
How far will you be off the edge of that road?
Talking to the builder, it's gonna be 40 to 50 feet, like.
It will be 40 to 50
Yeah.
off the edge of the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's in the center.
Or the center of the road, yeah,
Center.
center of the road, yes.
So you'll be about 30 feet off the road.
Would you say that's a dead end road?
It is it's a dead end gravel road,
The one in front of your house.
yes.
And you talked to the neighbors?
Yes. Or actually the ones that own all the property around it are our
Myers.
in-laws, yeah.
So that's a separate piece of property for the home. Right?
Yes, we bought that. Yeah, it's been about 10 years, yeah. But
So
yeah,
you
it's
own
technically, yeah, we own that, but we bought that separately later on.
So the fence row isn't really a depiction of a property line?
The fence row is, yeah.
Yes, fence row there is property.
So what's your distance from that property line?
30, it's 30 feet, I think.
So that would actually be our closer property line. Okay.
This one says 15.
15.
But our setback for
The
that.
setback is 15.
Oh,
I guess you would want to make sure you maintain that.
Yes, yes.
I'm confident with it.
It's just a squirrely spot, you know?
Yeah.
Well, when we bought the property, it was a smaller area, and then when we bought out the rest of it, we bought it out so that way we could have the finger system for our septic tank. And so that's why it looks so goofy.
This house was already built when you bought it.
No, we built this house on property, yes.
So your septic is where?
It goes off what is it?
Where that writing is in the
Yeah.
You
white
see the
on
lines
the,
right here?
Okay.
You see those lines?
Let me see.
That's our septic. So it's in the back of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of right there where the mouse is.
So you own both properties, but they're two different properties.
Yes, that are all combined.
Is that any issue with crossing the property line?
they're not crossing any lines with the building.
Yeah.
Because that building's on a separate parcel.
And it's just a garage.
And
It's just a garage, yeah.
dwelling, so.
Really, our daughter just got her license and we're trying to find someplace to put the car.
So is it a single story?
Yep.
No bathroom? Nothing.
No.
You know, if it's comfortable with the setbacks. On a dead end.
Kind of see.
Do we have any comments or concerns from the public? Okay, hearing none, I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion to go to BZA 2023-6.
Second.
I'll read the votes. Rick Cohen, yes. Brad Shooty, yes. Gary Fisher, yes. Janie Livingston, yes. Joyce Friendly, yes.
Okay, petition is approved. Good luck, guys. Our final petition, BZA petition 2023-7, Roy Saylor is requesting the following variances to develop a 21 lot subdivision west of 207 West Kentucky Avenue, Westport and Sand Creek Township. Number 1, a variance from provisions of the Decatur County Subdivision Control Ordinance number 305 to not require sidewalks. Number 2, a variance from provisions of the Decatur County Subdivision Control Ordinance number 305 to not require curb and gutters along Kentucky Avenue. Number 3, a variance from provisions of the Decatur County Ordinance number 1060 to the 75-foot minimum lot width, specifically lot number 7, lot number 8, from 75 foot to a width of 71.73 feet. And lot number 9 and 10 from 75 feet to 70.70 feet.
And there are 3 separate voting sheets, since these 3 items would not be contingent on one another.
Okay,
So one.
each one would require a vote.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so do we have a representative here for this petition?
Yes, Jeannie Saylor.
Okay. And so tell us about the reason for your request.
Which variance?
We can start with sidewalks.
I believe that has already been addressed. My husband was supposed to be here last minute and we moved the whole bill.
We've already discussed.
Okay.
We're good.
What
And
can-
the issue would be that they took this to Westport last month and asked, and Westport denied a favorable recommendation because they felt like that they were pushing toward sidewalks in the community. And so this would go against what they were working toward for the future. Then Roy talked to a couple members of the board again, and they decided to pull back that unfavorable recommendation and look at it again at their next meeting.
Monday. But we've also, we looked at the rest of the town and the new developments that we have there. We've never required that before. Now we will in the future because we're going to redo Main Streets first and then we're just going to work out. But in the future, there won't be, if you add any more to it, you would have to add sidewalks. And you do have a retention pond now. Yeah.
So variance number 2.
Okay, now variance number 1, are we gonna vote on that?
No,
or
not
we're
yet.
gonna- Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
And this is to require curb and gutters. Is this specifically only along Kentucky Avenue or throughout the subdivision?
I think it's just Kentucky.
So the rest of the subdivision,
Yeah, I don't know. That's all. I wrote what he told me.
Okay, now I think this also will have to come in front of the Westport Town Board because we have an ordinance now that you have to have gutters and you have to have them pointed out through the retention pond and not put out on the ground. We were having a lot of flooding from that area and the people that live in, like behind the new restaurant, the new Mexican restaurant, and the liquor store and the venue on 3, they used to have deep ditches. Now they've filled up and they're about like this, so their properties up there in the division before they put on in the new division. They're all being checked to make sure that they're not putting their wastewater off their roof into the sewer system. That's gotta be stopped because we haven't got the new sewer system yet, and it takes a long time to get things done. But I don't know, I think that I would rather feel better if I had the rest of my town board here to say whether you need gutters on it or not. I know, yeah, just Monday, if we meet again and we'll talk before that.
has this been through technical review?
No. We're gonna check the variances first.
And I would think regarding the curbs and gutters, there's a water study in the process, so we would definitely need the results of that study.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Before any determination. can be made on
I
that.
had a water study done in Purdue. We have that, the results of that.
Well, it would be done with the plans regardless.
Okay.
Yeah, to meet the retention requirements. So yeah, we would really need that one.
We can tell Roy when it comes to me.
Because if water's already an issue and the study indicates that the curbs and gutters and all of that is part of the remediation process for the development, then that answers that question.
Right. Yeah, because they would have to approve like a curb and gutter, then you would have to prove the drainage was proper.
That's all we worry about is not making the problem for the people that already live in the other development. It's a good idea to do this. I think you have a good idea, but, you know, it really does have to be done right.
Then we can discuss the last variance. Basically, you're just, probably because of size constraints, you're looking to make those lots smaller, which a technical review committee could give a recommendation on that. And the town of Westport as well.
Yeah, I think
So do
that's,
we have a cart before the horse?
Yes,
yeah,
that's exactly what I'm seeing here is, this really needs to be tabled because there's not much for us to vote on here until it gets through the proper channels,
Understood.
so.
we're not saying no.
Yeah, we are just tabling it
Just have to
until
go
you get
through
the
the
rest of your work, your legwork done to prove that these are needed, if they are necessary, because we need a drainage study first regardless.
Yeah.
Because all of this might change. So,
And I think it's good to see houses to be built within the county, to have people here, keep people home. They work outside the home, they're part of the gig economy, and they want to work from their house. And sure, people do that and so forth. I think that's a good thing, we just need to do it the right way.
No, absolutely. We just want to be able to grow the town, grow the businesses, help the schools, things like that. So I appreciate the consideration.
it would be my recommendation to tech review,
Right. I might
go
too.
ahead and look this over probably before they even come back for variance. I think that would be the route to go here, because depending on drainage, it may change their need for variances drastically.
Okay.
And do you guys, is there a plan incoming from them?
Yes,
Okay,
they're working on the subdivision control. And they've got, he's still working on it. They've got a lot of it done,
okay.
but it's still in the works.
Well, even
But
an
these were
80%
things
plan.
that,
Needed to be.
these were things that we thought better get addressed, because he can't come to the APC for subdivision control until we
Well, I
get these
think
variances.
we need to, the proper things need to be proven, I think, before we even get that far with the stormwater situation,
Exactly.
with the proper retention, all the drainage, because I think that's gonna be your first hurdle.
Right, because they
When
can
they wrote-
require other things that might consume and
Yes.
take some lots out,
That's-
which then we can require
absolutely.
variances on the width and
Yep.
all of that, so it may
Yeah,
not be all
it's
just.
a long way by the time they design in the hydraulics of the property.
I think the architect has already drawn it in. Roy was just concerned about the price and and the fact that there weren't sidewalks all the way through the
Right.
subdivision, the initial subdivision, which, you know, I don't know that would be an issue for me. I think you gotta start somewhere.
Right.
And, yeah, curbs and gutters, I think that was,
I think you need that.
And this property has not been rezoned, correct?
that's not. No,
Yeah,
they,
we-
But you
it's
have to
not
start
been
somewhere, and I understand that.
Well,
This is the first step, you can't go
Right.
on, so this is resolved.
okay. I would rather see it rezoned first, I would think.
We
It's
can't
farmer
approve
now.
the plat.
You can approve a plan, and then they can come back and ask for the variances off of the approved plan.
Okay.
Would be my thought, because, I mean, we can't approve variances on something that isn't even zoned.
It would be conditional on the rezon. So it's kind of one way or the other.
Yeah,
But they would definitely be dovetailed together.
yeah, I think they would want to get through tech review first, because that could change the plans,
May change the variances that are being requested.
you know?
Okay.
You guys on board?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
No, we can table it. Yeah, sure.
I'll make a motion to table BZA petition 2023-7.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, keep in touch with the office then with questions and with all the plans.
All right, thank you.
And that is our last petition for the BZA. With that, I will look for a motion